Ever been listening to your favorite podcast and think, hey, I want to start my own? Then you need Anchor. It's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First, everyone's favorite word free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can even make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Faithful is the man who gives everything. This serves true for Halo Raynes, who gave up everything to make his wife happy. The day she left and told him that it was her or the streets, he knew what he had to do. Now, years later, Halo is a faithful man with his sights set on one woman, his wife, Jurnee Raynes, that is, until he meets Ray. Will he be able to keep up the good boy routine? Jurnee Raynes is still living in the past. She doesn't think men can change, so there is no way that her husband, Halo, would be able to stay faithful to her, especially being the owner of a prestigious gentleman's club. She finds retribution in the arms of other men, but when she enters into forbidden territory, things get a little sticky. Can she make her way out of the murky waters, or will life come crumbling down around her? Ray has been in a horrible relationship with Red for over 3 years. During those 3 years, she was abused verbally and physically until one night she had enough, fleeing to Atlanta and right into the arms of Halo Raynes. Ray finally feels safe and secure. When a jealous wife and a revengeful ex come storming through, will she be able to survive the madness? Angel Raynes is a natural playboy. He refuses to settle down until he finds the right woman. When Ari enters his life, she sparks things in him that he has never felt. But there's only one problem: a one night stand that refuses to go away. Will Ari be able to survive his drama? Take a ride with these couples as they battle love, lies, and disrespect. Nothing with them is off limits, and at the end of it all, you may just have to bury my heart. Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome back to the Bibliophile's Bookcase. I am your host, Erica the Bibliophile, and we are here to discuss another Nikki Brown novel, Bury My Heart, which is a great title for a book as well as a song. Shout out to K Michelle. That was a great song. Um, this book is another re-release. You know the whole drama with re-releasing books and all of that stuff. Um, it used to be called Bury My Heart, a disrespectful love affair, but now the title is just Bury My Heart. So we are started with Halo and Jurnee Raynes. They are a married couple who dealt with a lot of cheating in the beginning from Halo, who has now turned his life around because Jurnee left him before and told him that it was either her or the streets. So he chose her, got out of the streets, opened up a strip club, and is now faithful to her and only her. But the problem is Jurnee don't believe none of that shit. She know he's still cheating and out doing his thing because he's cheated so much in the past, and I just want to pull over right there because it's like, okay, if you knew that he has cheated so much on you and won't stop cheating, you left before. Why you can't leave again? It's like, and I know what it is. Like strip clubs bring in a lot of money. You know they do. So she's probably gotten comfortable in the lifestyle and just doesn't want to go anywhere because she's a stay-at-home wife. She don't have to work. They don't have any kids, so she's not, chasing behind no kids every day, all day. She's literally just at home bored. And that's like the downside to being a stay-at-home wife, I think, because it's like if you don't have kids to look after, which taking care of kids is a full-time job. So it's like you're not tired behind that. What am I trying to say? Because I feel like I'm saying it wrong. It's like, okay, if you have children, then that's like your main focus. So then you don't have time for your husband, even when they are your partner. Let me be correct. When they do come home, and then like, okay, you don't have kids, so you don't have that responsibility. You don't have a job. You don't have anything. Like you're literally just sitting at home, or you're going shopping. That has to be boring. And she doesn't have any friends that she talks to, or like meets up with. Is literally just, oh, my husband a cheater, so I'm gonna go cheat back. And she slept with a lot of people, a lot of men as well, but Halo doesn't know about it. So one night she's coming out of a hotel room with one of the guys she's sleeping with, and she runs into Halo's best friend, Bank. And of course, Bank is smirking at her, and then he asks her, so how are we going to do this? And she's like, what are you talking about? Are you going to call and tell Halo, or should I? And it's just like, that wouldn't even be a question in my eyes. It's like, I don't need to say anything. It's like, I know what I saw, and I'm leaving it at that. Like, matter of fact, you didn't even have to talk to her. Y'all didn't even have to have a conversation. But she tries to go into this sob story of, I'm tired of always being last in his life. First it was the streets, now it's this strip club that he owns and that he's always working at. And Bank is like, I don't want to hear your sob ass story. I don't care nothing about that. And she tells him, just come in and let me talk to you about this. And like a do dirt nigga, he comes in and they have sex, which, hold on. Okay. It's not right. It's not right. I want to be very clear. It's not right. But if you are going to cheat with somebody, why are you coming into the hotel that you know she just had sex with somebody else in? Like, y'all finna lay down on them same sheets and have sex in that same bed. And I was gonna say, I don't care where you do it at. It's just like, she was in this hotel room with somebody else. You don't know where and in what position, like all that type of stuff. Ain't no way I'm going in behind. No, 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 no. Not me. I'm sorry. But that was stuck in my head for me. I'm just like, ugh. But Jurnee says so herself, like she knows that he's been wanting her. Like every time he come around to the house, or anytime like they're around each other, he's always looking at her and licking his lips. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. Like, if I tell you that your friend on some creep shit and your friend's still coming around, it's by the both of y'all. I'm not staying around this because I've already told you that your friend is on some weirdo shit and I'm not with it. But anyway, so she has sex with him thinking that's going to shut him up, which I don't know why. Because it's like, whether you had sex with him or not, he was going to continue to hold over your head the fact that he saw you with another man and that he could tell your husband. And that's exactly what he does. Like, having sex with her, it's like he already wanted her. They have sex. The sex is good between them. So now every time he wants her, either you come see me right now, or like a side bitch. Like, this nigga is a side bitch. Like, come see me now, or I'm blowing up your spot. Like, nigga, just blow up the spot then, because I'm not your fucking slave and I'm not running every time you call me. But that's what she does anyway. Which I'm like, nigga, how are you all up on her bumper and you got a girlfriend yourself? Bank has what do I want to call it? A Latin, a Hispanic girlfriend who, every time she see him, they fighting, and she hitting him and cussing him out in Spanish, and he just like all that shit just because, she's Hispanic. But come to find out, she is also related to the plug that he's been in contact with. Um, and she follows him everywhere, which was so, it's like, y'all ain't got jobs, you ain't got nothing to do. Like, it's other motherfuckers out here. Ain't no way to sex that good that you following behind him just to fight him and to fight other women. Because Jurnee has an apartment that is in her maiden name that Halo knows nothing about, or she thinks that he knows nothing about. But so he comes over there and there's banging at the door, and it's Sasha. Sasha there like, what you doing with this bitch? Fighting all this type of shit. And Sasha's pregnant. It's just like, girl, how you fighting and you pregnant? So when she sees Jurnee, like later on down the line, she shows up to Halo's club and she is busting out Jurnee's windows, and like she blows up their spot. Like, did you know that this bitch was fucking my man? And come to find out that her man is Banks. So Halo learns that his supposedly best friend and his wife have been sleeping together. But even before that, like with her running around with Banks and Banks calling her, it's a few times she didn't come home. And one night, like even Halo had set the scene, like made dinner, had a gift waiting on her and all that. And she literally did not come home because she was having sex with Banks. And I guess the sex was so good, they fell asleep and didn't wake up till almost 7 o'clock in the morning. And it was funny because when she finally did come home, she sees the jewelry box and heads straight to it. Like she don't even come to her husband and face him. She just goes straight for the jewelry. That's how I know she was only with him for the money. And he's like, you can put that back down because as soon as the store opens, it's going right back. So don't even look at it. Don't fall in love with it because you're not getting it. And of course, it goes right into, well, you've cheated a lot too. He like, man, I don't want to hear that. I'm not cheating now, though. This is supposed to be brand new. We're supposed to be starting over. If you knew you couldn't let that go, then why are you still here? And I know a lot of women don't want to hear it because they think that they're owed the same courtesy, but if you got cheated on, you also have the decision to leave. You don't have to stay. And just because you stay don't mean that they have to stay with you. That was your decision, and choosing to leave is their decision. Like, you're not owed somebody sitting back and being cheated on as well. It's like, you're okay with being cheated on. I'm not, though. And that doesn't make me a bad person at all. So I'm just like, what are you saying? Um, but in the midst of that, there's a girl at his club named Candy who was always trying to proposition him and get him to sleep with her, and he just refuses to. Now, Candy has a cousin named Ray. Ray is in a domestic violent relationship, and one night after her boyfriend attacks her, she's just had enough. So she grabs a knife and she stabs him multiple times, thinking that she's killed him, and she packs up her car and she leaves and goes to Atlanta. And she meets up with Candy, and Candy is like, I'm going to get you a job or an interview because you can't just get somebody in if they can't dance. She's like, I'm going to get you an interview and you come work with me. So Ray's like, yeah, cool, And of course, it's at the club with Halo and them. And they're conducting the interviews. Now, as soon as Halo sees Ray, he feeling hurt, but he's being respectful. It's just like, he's not flirting with her or anything like that, but it's just like, mm. And then as soon as she dances, he's like, oh, hell no. Can't nobody else see this. Like, he makes her his assistant. But during her interview while she's dancing, Candy shows Jurnee like where they are during the interview process. So Jurnee come in there hooping and howling, and Candy is standing behind her just smirking at the fact that she's causing this big old scene and is causing a problem for him. So when he sees her back there smirking, bitch, you fired. And she just can't believe, like, fired. Like, no, I need my job. Please don't do this. I was just showing her where, you were because she asked where you were. And it's like, girl, no, you wasn't. You came back here hoping for her to catch her nigga doing something he wasn't supposed to. And you back here grinning at the fact that she going off. I'm like, I'm looking dead at you. And so throughout the book, she's begging for her job back, but it's like, yeah, you made this club good money, but you were not worth the trouble that you were bringing in. So it's just like, while you were a big money maker, we can find another one. And Halo has a brother, Angel, who, like he a player. He do his own thing. He has a one night stand with this woman from the club who he thought was gone, but she actually done took a shower and still around his house when his mama come. And he's like, why are you still here? And she's like, it was my first time last night. I just knew there was a connection between us. And he's like, I wish you would have told me that so I could have let you know that this not that type of party, mama. Like, thanks for a great time last night, but you can go. And so Joy is just, I'm not going to call her the C word, but she has mental issues and she following him everywhere. She sees him out on a date with a woman, and not the next day, that same night, she's killed in a car accident because Joy done crashed into this woman, and she just follows him everywhere. She keeps breaking into his house and leaving her underwear there. She has what was it? Dissociative personality disorder, I believe, where she was assaulted as a young child, and to deal with that, she created a like protective personality to protect her. I was gonna say there's no other way to say it. So it's just like Joy is the sweet, rational person, while who's Jazz? Jazz was the other personality, was like the let's fuck some shit up personality. And so all throughout the book, which I don't, but of course, hood niggas, it's like Angel could have went to the police, and it's like, this woman won't leave me alone. She just keeps following me everywhere. It's just like everywhere I turn, she's there. This heifer went and bought a wedding dress and paid for like over $4,000 wedding dress because she just has it in her mind that her and Angel are going to get married. And he's like, man, I don't know her. I don't know the first thing about her, how she got my number, because she would be calling him like, why are you out on a date with another woman when you should be home with me? And he's like, man, if you don't get away from my house, like that ain't our house, that's my house. And she was like, that's our house. Say it, our house. It's like, girl. And so Angel also has eyes for a woman named Ari. She was there the same day as Ray when they interviewed, and Halo and Angel both told them, like, we're not going to let y'all dance, but y'all can be our assistants. Now, Candy was still getting information like in the club about what's going on, and when she finds out that Halo wouldn't let Ray dance and made her into his assistant, she's jealous and then blames Ray for the reason why she got fired. It's like she kept saying, she's the reason why I lost my job. She's the reason why I don't have my job anymore. And it's like, how? Your cousin was literally standing off to the side. Like, she didn't know him or his wife. Like, she didn't know nothing about that situation. She is not the reason why you got fired. Like, girl, take accountability. Your messiness is the reason why you don't have no job. And she calls back to their hometown and finds out the reason why Ray left and came down to Atlanta so quickly is because of the situation with Ray. Now, I mean, Red is his name. Now, with her being so messy, she calls Ray and says, you better help me get my job back. And I heard you stole like $500,000 from him. So I want $20,000, or I'm going to call him and let him know where you at. And Ray is like, I did what I had to do to get away from him, but I didn't steal nothing from him. So you don't have nothing coming from me. And she's like, whatever, you just better have my money or I'm going to let him know. So Ray pays her one time, but then after that, she still calls and tells this man where Ray is anyway. So he comes to Atlanta as well. And that backfires on her because Ray had a best friend by the name of Ashley, I believe, who, or was it Asha? It was someone with an A. I can't remember right now. But the best friend was the one like who ratted on her, telling Red that she was packing up to leave that day that she attacked him. And so now she's sleeping with Red, and Red brings her down there with him, and he is forcing Candy to sleep with her, and like they all have threesomes together while he's staying at her house while trying to locate Ray and get to her. And Ray and Halo have been getting closer during this time, and when he finds out that Jurnee was not only cheating on him with multiple other men, but also his best friend Banks, he's in the process of trying to get a divorce and wanting nothing else to do with her. And she tells him about her situation, like, this is what I have going on. I'm not trying to bring no heat to your door, but I'm dealing with this. And Halo is like, man, I got you. Don't worry about it. He ain't gonna get you again. Oh. I, I just thought about it. Because in the mix of like when she first was telling them, like, I used to be in this relationship and this is what's going on, Ari asked her, no, Halo was the one who said, why would you stay in something like that? Why didn't you leave? And it was Halo, Angel, Ray, and Ari, like them sitting together while she's telling this story. And she tells them, like, I didn't have a choice. And Ari butts in and says, Ray, everybody has a choice. It's like, not y'all blaming the victim. That part made me so upset in this book. I was going to say in this film, Lord Jesus. In this book, I said, make everybody has a choice. Like, you don't think if I had the choice, I wouldn't leave somebody who was beating my ass? And she lists all the injuries that she had or got from this man at one point. And it's like, I got to the point where I felt like it was either him or me, and I chose me. And even with me saying that, like, this motherfucker is looking for me right now. So how are y'all saying everybody has a choice? Like, yeah, I have a choice to survive. And so I decided not to. It's just like, come on now. I shouldn't even have to explain this, but that everybody has a choice. Now, why didn't you? I had to put the book down for a second. I forgot that part was in there. I was so fucking upset. I was just like, what the fuck do you mean? mm, mm, mm. But so yeah, like the couples are all together, and one night they are at Halo's house, and he wakes up to his house being set on fire. But thankfully everybody got out in time. And while Angel was thinking that it's Joy, like Joy had followed them again and set the house on fire, Halo was thinking that it could have been no. While Angel was thinking it was Joy, then you have Ray thinking it was Red. She said, this has Red written all over it. He's in Atlanta. He's here to get me. Like, this is his doing. And so come to find out, though, actually, it was Jurnee. Because Jurnee, knows that he wants a divorce and that he's now with Ray. So if she can't have him, she gonna kill him. And the thing was, his car was there, but whoever set the fire, like, stole his car. So that gave him even more intel on who did this to him. Because it's like, how do they know where to find my keys? And why would you, if you send somebody's house on fire and intended to kill them, why would you grab car keys and take off in a car? So at one point, they're staying in a hotel together, Ray and Halo. And she was in the lobby at one point just talking to this guy, just having a simple conversation. But because he's already upset over the fact that he's in the situation with the cheating wife, he goes over there and blows up at her like, so this what the fuck you doing? You just out here skinning and grinning in niggas' faces or whatever? And She's looking at this nigga like he is insane. She's like, you know what? I just got out of a relationship where I was being disrespected. I'm not getting into another one. So I'm cool on this. Angel gets her a separate hotel room, but Halo gets the key from him anyway. Like, come on, man, give me the spare key. I gotta make this right when my lady will do whatever. So they make up and everything is all good. And he apologizes. And in the end, Red is dead. Which it's just like Candy tried to make a turn for the better because her and the guy G, who was a manager at the strip club, like he always wanted her, but of course she had her eyes on Halo. And she starts trying to be a better person when Red comes into town and start beating her ass and making her do all the shit that he used to do to Ray. And the thing is, it literally had to happen to Ray and to Ray's best friend for them to understand what she was going through. And at one point, they're all at this restaurant, and Red tells her, you're going to go to the bathroom and convince her to come out so I can basically snatch her up. And Ray asks her, like, I told you what was going on and what he was doing to me. Why would you then turn around and start sleeping with him? And she says, he convinced me that it wasn't true and that none of the things you were saying were actually going on. And I just fell in love with him. And it's like, yeah, girl, abusers are manipulative like that. But why? It's just like, you were supposed to be my friend. Like, why would you not believe? But it's cool. It's cool. So they don't get her. Like, Red ended up dead, I believe. Red killed at is it Ashley or he ended up killing her and almost killed Candy because he had her call Ray on the phone, like, if you don't come to this location alone, then the same thing that happened to old girl is gonna happen to your cousin. And so yeah, Red is dead, the best friend was dead. Candy turned over a new leaf. Oh, the shit with Jurnee though. Jurnee broke into his house for the last time and like had cracked that nigga over the head, had him tied up. And Ari walked into the house to see them. Oh no. Okay, my bad. Real quick. They pulled up to his house together and Angel told her, do not come in with me. I'm going in by myself. And, call my brother. And if you see anything, run. So Halo calls his phone. And when she answered, he's like, where my brother? So she tell him what's going on. They race over there. But she goes in the house anyway because it's like, I'm not just leaving him in there by himself. So all of what I said happened. And she's sitting there in a wedding dress like, oh, I'm so happy you could come to our wedding. And she's like, girl, he's not marrying you. He gonna marry me. And Joy has a gun. So Joy shoots Ari in her shoulder. And Angel is on the ground like trying to reach into his sock or something in his shoe and grab out a gun that he has there. So she started talking shit to Joy, like, why he chose me and he'll never choose you, just to give him time to get the gun. And they end up shooting her. So Joy is dead as well. So, in the end, it's Angel and Ari and Halo and Ray, and they're living happily ever after. But the thing that got me about Joy as well, like, I think they had got into a fight before and Joy got arrested. And they see Joy's mama, and the mama mentioned something about this happening again, or like something like the doctor. So Ari is like, so what she's capable of, and she's out in the streets anyway. And the mama's just like, you wouldn't understand. It's like, no, you know that your daughter has fucking issues and should not be out on the street terrorizing people, but you let her do it anyway. And so when Joy died, the mama like, y'all just wanted to kill my baby anyway. No, your baby needs to be in a hospital, a mental institute, and because you didn't want her there and wanted her out in the streets where she was terrorizing people, this is the cause of her actions, the consequences of her actions. So no, didn't nobody kill your baby just to kill your baby. Your baby was out here terrorizing people, and that's not fair to everybody else. Why should we have to deal with the consequences of her falling in love with every nice guy or who she deems to be a nice guy? Like, we ain't got to deal with that. Your daughter needed help, and while she had medication that she should have been taking, she never took it. And you would only threaten, like, are you taking your medication? Because I don't want to have to call the doctor, and you have to go back to that place. It's just like, it's only so many times you could threaten that and make that, like, try to hold that over her head, and it don't work. So it's just like, whose fault is that? Yours, not ours. We shouldn't have to deal with that. So yeah, like I said, oh, and Banks also died for being a traitor. I just didn't really care about him because it really didn't make a difference. It was just like, you was a snake nigga, you got dealt with, whoop de whoop. But yeah, that's the story, and I hope to see you guys back next week for, I believe I'm jumping back into Be Love. We're on part 8 of a 10-part series. Peace and blessings, my beautiful people.